Hi all, Claire here from Sanctuary Stretch. Today we're going to do a seated Sanctuary Stretch session. Please remember to make sure you've got medical clearance to perform these exercises. If anything that I suggest doesn't feel good for your body, you can just opt out and not do it, or you might choose to swap it for something else that you enjoy doing and that you know is safe for your body to do. It's important to listen to your own body and move within your own limits. So you're going to need a chair, like a dining chair, that has stable legs, so no wheels and no arms, and a nice back support. And we're going to sit with our feet at about hip distance apart. We'd like to find our sit bones and not be tilted back in the pelvis or too far forward. We're going to drop our shoulders down and back and tuck our chin, and then practice activating the T-zone. So the T-zone refers to our deep core abdominal muscles and the pelvic floor, as if you were drawing a capital T on your pelvis. We want to make sure to lift the pelvic floor first before tightening our deep core abdominals. This is to make sure that we're not pressing down on the pelvic floor. So let's get started. We're going to start by closing our eyes. Allow your thoughts to just settle. Whatever has been on your mind this morning or this afternoon, whatever you've got to do, can be waiting outside the room. You get to be here and be present in your sanctuary with your body and your breath. So just feel the ground beneath your feet and the chair supporting your weight. Feel gravity holding you there in that place, safe and secure. And become aware of your posture. Activate your T-zone, your shoulders down and back and your chin tucked, lengthening through the spine. And notice your breath. Every time you inhale, just reactivate the T-zone, shoulder position and chin position. And every time you exhale, think of a long exhalation. You can purse your lips, empty the lungs completely, turning on those upper abdominals, and when you run out of breath, inhale again. T-zone, shoulders, chin are reactive, and then exhale, full control. It may take time to get used to this breath rhythm, just keep practicing. And you can connect to your concept of that divine source of unconditional love, whether you call that the universe or God, or a higher power, but it is that presence with you at any time that you can go to when you need kindness and patience, forgiveness, guidance, and so much love. And you can invite that presence deep into this space that you're in, into your being. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And we're going to begin by taking single arm rainbow breaths. So one arm, we're going to inhale, reach up overhead, a little side bend, and then exhale, lower that arm back down. Alternating, inhale overhead and exhale down. Keep going. Inhale and exhale. In through the nose and out through the mouth. One more on each side. Beautiful. And resting there. We're going to link our hands together and place them behind our head, elbows nice and wide. We want to inhale to prepare here. And on the exhale, we're going to lower the chin, close the elbows together, and then on the inhale, opening back out. So just rounding the top of the spine on the exhale, and then opening back out on the inhale, coming up nice and tall. Keep going. And take the arms out and down by your side. We're going to press those hands back, and then having a nice flat back, we want to hinge forward at the hips And then begin to rotate those palms up and palms down, or palms forward and palms behind, depending on how far forward you can hinge. We want to make sure that we're hinging at the hips, that our back is supported by our core, and that our neck is nice and neutral. So our eyes would be on the floor, just in front of the feet. And when we rotate those arms, we're rotating those biceps as well, so we want to get right up to the shoulder joint. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful, resting there. Bringing our fingertips together into a steeple position. We're going to inhale, open the elbows wide, and exhale, create a steeple. As we inhale, we're widening the elbows. On the exhale, we want to increase the height of our steeple just a little bit. A little bit more each time. A little higher. All the way down, open the elbows, then drive those hands up. Keep going until you reach that full extension in your arms. When you get to the highest steeple, we can slowly start decreasing the height of the steeple a little at a time, all the way back down, just loosening up those shoulders and resting there. You're going to take both hands straight up overhead and do windmills. That means one's going to circle forward, one arm's going to circle back. We're going to get a little twist and rotation of the spine and bring the hands back to meet overhead. We can go the other way as well. Noticing how the hands sweep past the thighs in opposite direction, come up in opposite direction, and then meet at the top. Rotating and alternating which side you start with. This is a really good one for getting our brain and coordination to work. So if you find it a little difficult, that's okay. You can practice and get the hang of it. It's always good to have a challenge, something new. It would be too easy if you could just do everything first go. And resting down. Lovely work. Let's link our fingers together and just press the hands away. Sitting up nice and tall in the spine. Balance on our sit bones. And then take those arms over to one side. And I'm trying to extend that front elbow so that I get a nice stretch in my shoulder. And taking a few intentional breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Coming back to neutral and over to the other side. Again, pushing that elbow straight. Inhaling and exhale, and come back to neutral. We're going to do a little reset by shrugging the shoulders, lowering the shoulder blades, and then extending those arms straight up overhead, lengthening through the torso and arms, and then we're going to do a little side bend here. Hold that stretch for a breath or two. And come back to neutral, and let's do the other side. And come on back up. Let's take the arms down by our sides and just rest our hands on our knees. This is a somatic exercise to help release tension that we carry in those upper traps. So the way this works is we're going to rotate our chin towards the shoulder. Inhaling, lift the shoulder up high and tuck the chin down. This is creating a contraction there right through the side of that neck and the shoulder, the upper traps. And then on the exhale, we're going to slowly release the position. So lowering the shoulder and lifting the chin slowly on the exhale. And then turning the chin back, forward, exhaling, exhaling. And then allow that shoulder to soften. We're going to do that again 2 more times on this side. So rotating towards that side. Inhale, lift the shoulder, tuck the chin, contract those muscles. And then exhaling, slowly release, lowering the shoulder, lifting the chin and returning the chin back straight. Last time on this side. Rotate to begin. Inhale to contract. And then exhale slowly to release. And feel the softness in that shoulder. Let's do the same on the other side. Inhale and contract. And then releasing, exhaling, slowly lower the shoulder, lift the chin and return the chin back to neutral. Softening there. Then rotate the chin. Inhale, contract the shoulder, tuck the chin down. And exhale, slowly, slowly release, lowering the shoulder, lifting the chin, coming back to neutral, softening the shoulder here. And then last time, rotate, inhale to contract. And then exhaling, slowly, slowly, slowly release. And come back to neutral. Doesn't that feel so nice and soft and warm in the shoulder blades and upper traps now? Okay, so our next one, we're going to strengthen our shoulder blades right in the center of the back. So when we squeeze the shoulder blades together, it can be easy to go up into a shrug of the shoulders, but we want to try to create space here between the ears and the shoulders, keeping the shoulder blades down. But we want to squeeze the shoulder blades back and together. So we're going to inhale as we release, and then exhale as we squeeze, and then release, inhaling, and squeeze on the exhale. Find the rhythm of the breath. Inhale, release, exhale, squeeze. Keep going. We have 5 to go. Exhale for 5 and hold. Inhale, release. And then 4. Release. Squeeze for 3. And release. And 2. Release. And last one. And release. Let's put one hand on the outside of the knee, the other hand on the chair, and we're going to do a torso twist. So we're turning the shoulders, keeping the sit bones even, the knees pointing forward. Every time I inhale, I'm going to try to make myself a little taller in my spine, and on the exhale, turn a little further. Hold this position for a couple of breaths. And then unravel slowly, come back to neutral, and let's rotate and do the same on the other side. So you can use your hand on the outside of that knee to try to help the shoulder girdle turn a little further. Inhaling to come up tall, exhaling to turn. Couple of intentional breaths. And then you can slowly, slowly release. And then we're going to reach underneath the knees and hold our hands together, or you can hold onto the bottom of the chair if it's too hard to grip your hands underneath. And we're going to pull the chest back, rounding the spine and tucking the chin down to the chest. We want to separate the shoulder blades with this stretch, so we're pulling their tummy back from the knees. Breathing through it, and then we can release the hands and restack the spine, coming up nice and tall. Okay, our next exercise we're going to do is called pelvic rocking. We're going to imagine that our pelvis is a bowl of water. Our sit bones are the bottom of the bowl, and our hip bones are the top of the bowl. And we want to tilt the pelvis back, spilling water over the back of the chair, and then tilt forward, imagining that bowl spilling forward towards the toes. This is going to happen by tucking the tailbone under, loosening off the lumbar spine, and tilting forward. And you can also add in some pelvic floor control breathing here. So as we tilt forward, we can think of inhaling and expanding the pelvic floor and the tummy, And as we tilt backwards, we can exhale and do a Kegel, so drawing the pelvic floor up. Inhale, tilt forward and expand. And exhale, draw the pelvic floor up and tilt back. So just keep going with that, just listening to your body. The lower back can be a little stiff, so just be gentle with yourself as you do this pelvic rocking. Beautiful, and come back up to neutral. All right, we're going to take our arms by our sides. Core is on, T-zone is lifted and active, shoulders are down and back, chin is tucked. We're going to inhale to prepare, and on the exhale, we're going to raise the hands up to shoulder height and the heels, and lower back down. Inhaling to prepare, exhaling as we lift, lifting the heels and hands together, lowering with control, making sure those ankles aren't wobbly as we lift and lower. Use the breath, exhaling as you lift, and switching on all those little muscle fibers that support your ankles, using your mind for control. Inhale, reset the core. Exhale, lift. Keep going. Smooth movement. And resting there. Moving forward to the front of the chair, balancing the sit bones right at the edge of the chair. We're going to put our hands back down by our sides, and this time on the exhale we're going to extend one heel out and press those hands back. Then reset. Inhale, tummy on. Exhale, press the heel down, press the hands back. Keep going with that. Beautiful. Press the heel down, press the hands back and release. Using your breath, exhaling as you extend, inhaling to reactivate your core control, your postural muscles. And resting there. All right, next we're going into ladders. So we're going to reach up one hand high and the opposite knee is going to join. Inhale, activate the core, and then exhale, reach. Now, as I reach up overhead, I'm making sure those shoulders stay down and back. I'm not pitching the shoulder up to the ear. Keep it active, down and back. Keep that pelvis nice and neutral so that as you lift up, you're not rocking back and spilling that water out of the pelvic bowl anymore. We want to imagine it filled to the brim, and we're going to keep it that way with our core control. So exhale, reach. Inhale, reactivate control. Exhale, reach, lifting that knee up off the ground. Alternating opposite hand, opposite knee. Inhale, reset the core. Exhale, reach. Good, and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Taking the arms out at shoulder height, we're going to inhale, core on, and then exhale, sweep one arm forward and extend the opposite leg. Make sure to fire that quad muscle and then open the arm back out. Inhale, reset, exhale, sweep and extend. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Keep going here, and again, as you extend that leg, make sure that the pelvis is nice and stable. You've got that core control. Inhale, and then exhale to perform the strenuous part. Keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Let's come up into cactus pose here. So we want our elbows about shoulder height. We want to squeeze the shoulder blades together so our forearms are in line with our ears. And then we want to exhale, squeeze the forearms together. Inhale, open and control. Exhale and inhale. So try to imagine that the air is thick use your mindfulness to switch on all the little muscle fibers and resist the air. Little chest flies. Use those exhales for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Taking the arms straight up overhead, and we're going to do some lat pulls now, making fists and pulling those elbows down to the side so that the fists are in line with the shoulder girdle. Inhale, extend up, and exhale, draw down and squeeze. And again, I'm keeping that shoulder girdle down as I lift up. I'm not hitching those shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, down. Keep that pelvis nice and neutral, that spine nice and tall, and stay with your breath rhythm. Inhaling T-zone on as we lift up, and then exhale, pulling down tight. Imagine that you're pulling on something heavy, that you've got resistance. 4 to go. 4, 3, exhaling for 2, and 1. Lovely. And rest there. You can give your shoulders a little shake and loosen off those arms a little bit. And we're going to take a little wider step, about the width of your chair legs, and then take one step with each foot a little further away. We're going to take our arms back out to shoulder height and bring our arms in a little bit so you can see your thumbs in your peripheral view. We've got a nice stacked spine, core control, so inhale T-zone, and then we're going to twist, and then on the exhale, lean down and try to kind of saw off your pinky toe. Come back to neutral and reset. Twisting and lowering and coming back. The spinal rotation here is our focus. Reaching low, coming back to neutral. And lift. Twist, reach. Lift and reset. Back to neutral. Inhale, tummy on and twist. Exhale, reach down. We got 2 more. And last one. Beautiful, well done. And resting down. Bring your feet back into neutral position. All right, back to neutral. We want that feet flat on the floor, our ankles underneath our knees, and we're going to run fairy feet. So this is to help get our cardiovascular system working, get our heart rate up a little bit. So we want to come up onto our tippy toes and run as fast as we can, as lightly as we can. So don't let those legs get heavy. Core is on, nice, tall, stacked spine, not tilting in the pelvis or rounding through the spine in any way. And you can add in some arm running as well. So join in, but that's going to make those feet a little heavier. So try to keep them light. Try to move those arms nice and fast for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And resting down. Okay, let's come over onto the side position. So we're going to sit side on, and we want to move our sit bones forward so that we're only sitting on the back sit bone, the one closest to the back of the chair, and that front sit bone is off the chair. I'm going to put the back foot flat on the floor and bring the knees together. So level 1 would be to have the feet on the floor together side by side, and on the exhale, open the knees into a clam, activating the glute medius and minimus here and bringing it back together. For a little more challenge, you can lean a little bit further back onto the chair and lift that front foot off the floor, keeping the knees joined. Push that hip forward and hold it in position with your core. Inhale, tummy on, and imagine a string here on the outside of your knee pulling you up and away. And that's going to activate that muscle as well. If you find that that muscle is lazy for you to get awareness of its activation, you can give it a little smack, and that creates that connection with that neural awareness so that you can keep that hip in place and only use that glute medius and minimus. We don't want to be opening the hips out. We want to keep that and only lift the leg as wide as the hip socket will allow without having to move the hip socket. All right, keep going. Inhale, knees together, core on. Exhale, open out. Keep going for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Resting down, sitting up nice and tall. I'm going to extend that same leg out, and I want to come upright in my chair and push the sole away, getting a little bit of a stretch in the inner thigh here. Now you can slide that hand down the leg if you'd like to get a little deeper into the stretch. And to buy a bit of space, if you have tight muscles here, you can rotate the toes up to the sky and then rotate them back down to face the wall. So inhaling and rotating that leg, and then exhaling, reaching a little deeper into that stretch. Beautiful. Let's take that same leg and drive it straight across the chair. We're going into a hamstring stretch. So placing the heel down, I'm going to come down onto my stabilizing leg, and I want to start with a bit of flossing. So this is just pointing and flexing the toes here, keeping the knee locked and getting that movement right up to the sit bone. Then I'm going to flex the toes and slide that hand down the leg. Feeling that gentle but maybe a little bit of discomfort from the stretch in those tight hamstrings. That's okay, just use your exhale and hold the discomfort without pain. So just holding that position, exhaling, and when you get to the point of ready for an inhale, you can rotate your whole leg right up to the hip. So I say to my clients, this is like painting rainbows with your toes. Keeping everything locked at the ankle, the knee, it's only moving right up to the hip here, and then I can reach a little further with each exhale. So inhaling and rotating, exhaling and reach. Just listening to your body and gently coaxing a little bit more flexibility from those tight muscles with each little breath. You can also unlock the knee, lower the chest, and then relock the knee. Another little trick to buy space in these tight muscles. Beautiful. And come on back up, and we're going to do the same on the other side. So rotating, we're going to sit side on. That flat foot is the back foot, and you can bring your feet together here and just press those knees open for a level 1 plan. Level 2 is to lean back against the back of the chair, lift that foot off the floor, hold the hip in position with your core, and then exhale as you open those knees. Remember that imaginary string on the outside of the knee pulling you up and away from the bottom knee. Inhale, core on, exhale, open. Again, we're trying to activate that muscle. If it doesn't want to wake up, you can give it a smack. They are kind of lazy and hard to activate, those glute medius and minimus muscles. So inhale, core is on, not opening out the hips in any way, only opening the knees. Good, and keep going. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. You can rest your feet down and come up tall in your spine and drive that leg closest to the screen. Push it away. A little bit of a rotate through that foot, and you can slide down as well to increase the stretch in the inner thigh. A little bit of a rotate, turn the toes up and then back down, resting on the inside of your foot. Lovely, let's take that leg straight across now and all the way forward into a hamstring stretch. So we're going to point and flex to begin with. That's creating like a neural awareness of the muscles that we want to stretch, preparing them for this stretch. Then pull the toes back into that flex position and start to lower yourself down your leg. Just go to where you can when you start to feel the stretch, and use your exhale to encourage any of those tight muscles to just soften a little bit. Then you can inhale and rotate the leg right up to the hip and reach a little further. Inhale, rotate, and exhale, reach. Inhale, rotate, and exhale, reach a little further and hold the stretch for the length of your exhalation. Really extend that exhalation out. Then a little inhale to rotate and reach a little further. You can also unlock the knee, lower the chest, and relock the knee. All right, that feels good. Excellent. Come on back up to neutral position. All right, let's stretch out those glute medius and minimus muscles. We're going to do this with a figure 4 stretch. Start at level 1, which is crossed ankles, both legs straight, top foot flexed, and flat back leaning forward. And you can gradually, as you get more and more flexible, bring that heel a little higher each time until that ankle can get all the way up to level 3. As you're leaning forward with your chest, and you can feel that stretch in those glute medius and minimus muscles, you can buy a little bit more space and create a bit more sweet spot of the stretch by taking the hips and rotating them to one side. So I'm pushing that lower part of the leg over towards that lifted foot and then leaning forward. That's really going to get into that sweet spot. Use your breath. And come on back up. Let's do the same other side. So level 1, level 2, and then level 3. Flexed toes back. That's going to protect the knee. Flat back. Forward fold at the hips. So lowering the chest, not tucking through the chin. The neck isn't going to help with this hip stretch. It's only the chest and pelvic position. If we can tilt forward a little bit here. And you can push the hips over to that side towards the lifted foot and sink a little deeper into it using your breath. And come on back up. So back to neutral position, feet flat on the floor, shoulders down and back, chin tucked, nice neutral pelvis, and we're going to work on our core. So we're going to begin with prayer twists. So I want to put my hands into prayer position, elbows are nice and wide, shoulders are down and back, and I'm creating pressure here. So the pressure is happening between the hands. The upper shoulders are active. I'm going to lift the pelvic floor, tighten the tummy, and then exhale as I twist to one side. Inhaling as I come back across the center, and then exhaling to the other side. That little lift of the pelvic floor again as I inhale and come across the center, and those exhales as I go into the twist. I want to maintain control of the corset. I also want to maintain the pressure between the hands and a nice tall spine and those shoulders down and back. Keep going. Pelvic floor is lifted, tummy nice and tight. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. And resting there. We're going to take our knees nice and wide here. Elbows come up into cactus pose, and then we're just going to lift the elbows a little higher so the fingertips are just behind the ears. And I want to draw that pelvic floor up and the tummy in, and on the exhale, a little crunch to the side. I'm dropping the rib cage, not the head and shoulders. I want to keep the head and shoulders as one unit, and then try to drop that lower rib to the hip bone. Crunching right there at the side of the abdominals. Crunch. Inhale, tummy on. Exhale as you crunch. Beautiful. Keep going for 5, 4, 3. Use your breath. 2. Tummy on. And 1. Lovely. Resting down. Bring your feet back together Take your hands straight out in front, shoulders are down and back. We're going to have a nice tall spine and hinging back as far as you can go without leaning on the chair, and then exhale, come right up. So to move right forward on the chair here will give you more range of movement to lean back, back, back without resting on the chair, and exhale as you come back up. I want to make sure that the spine is straight and the pelvis is tilting back, and then exhale as I come back up. Inhale, tummy on, tilt back, and then exhale, up we go. So the pelvis is tilting back with the spine, not tilting back and rounding the spine. They're working together. Good. Keep going for 5. Leaning back, 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 T-zone on. Exhale as you come up for 4. T-zone on and then up for 3. Exhale as you come up for 2. And last one, and up. Resting down. All right, take your hands and link them together behind your head, elbows nice and wide. We're going to do an oblique twist here. So inhale, core is on, and then on the exhale, twist, lowering one hand elbow to meet the opposite knee. Inhale, tummy on, exhale, twist to the other side. Try not to tilt the pelvis back as you lift that knee. Try to crunch forward. Inhale, tummy on, almost like I'm trying to take my opposite shoulder to the hip. Shoulder to opposite hip. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. And now our last little core exercise is a leaning back, lift and extend. So we want to find our sit bones, sit right at the front of the chair. Inhale, tummy on as we lean back with a straight spine, not rounded. And we want to lift one knee on the inhale, activating that core. Exhale, extend the leg long. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, place the foot down. Reset, inhale, lift one knee. Exhale, extend. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. So try to get that little breath rhythm. Try not to be rocking through the spine and pelvis. Keep everything nice and still with that corset on as you lean back, back, back. T-zone on, not resting on the chair behind. You can get the most out of this if you just hold that position, make that core work. Inhale to activate the lower abdominals, and then exhale to keep those upper abdominals controlling those tight muscles. Keep going. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Beautiful. Go into a wall-to-wall stretch. Now you can lean against the back of the chair. You can flare your ribs and arch your back. Stretch through those abdominals. And come on back up, ready to cool down. Oh yeah, we can feel it. All right, so we're going to take our knees nice and wide. And we're going to do another somatic movement. So moving our hips right forward, our sit bones right forward. And we want to take one hand and place it on the opposite shoulder. Notice that my nose is in alignment with the crook of my elbow here. I'm going to inhale and rotate and keep the nose in line with the elbow. And notice my hip is internally rotating, the knee is coming down. And then I'm going to exhale and undo that move. So sit bone is coming back to the chair, the knee is lifting, and the nose and elbow come back to center. Relax. Inhale and rotate away. Keeping that nose in line with the crook of the elbow, allowing the hip and knee to just naturally follow. That sit bone is going to lift. And on the exhale, we're lowering the sit bone, lifting the knee, and coming back to center. Let's do the same on the other side. Hand placed, nose in alignment with the crook of the elbow, working together as we rotate. Hip naturally turns in, exhaling as we come back. And again, inhale, rotate. Allow that hip to turn. And then exhale, slowly bring the elbow and nose back to face forward. Keeping those knees nice and wide, we're going to take our arms out at shoulder height and press the heels away, palms lifted. And we're going to reach. Try to keep the sit bones even on the chair as you reach. Use your core as well, so inhale tummy on to keep those hip bones nice and still, and then stretch out as you reach. All happening in the ribs here. A little bit in the arms. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Staying with the knees wide, making sure you're right forward on the chair. We're going to bring our weight down onto one knee and extend the other leg out long. We're going to take our arms straight up overhead. Nice straight line stretch right down the side of the body here. You can even twist a little bit forward off of the chair so that you can get that hip nice and neutral as you extend out. And then come all the way back to that seated wide-legged position. Other side. Weight down on the knee. Extend that other leg out long. And the same arm is going to reach out to get that nice sideline stretch. You can twist a little bit so that the hip is getting nice and neutral, extending out. Use your breath. And slowly come on back up. Bring your knees back into that neutral position. Shoulders down and back, chin tucked, and we're going to take our elbows wide, bring our hands into the small of our back. We want to wing stretch, so pressing those little wings, those little elbows back together, allowing the chest to push forward, feeling a nice stretch here. And then we can go into a scapular squeeze and extend the arms long behind. Hopefully you've got a hole in your chair. You can push your hands through. If not, you can turn side on and push those arms out. Another alternative is to put one hand on either side of the chair and arch the back, pushing the chest forward. You can do that while you're sitting side on here. I've got a hand here and here, and lifting the chin and chest, getting a nice stretch. And you're ready for relaxation. So jump onto one of our meditation videos and go through the relaxation. And I hope you enjoyed bending, breathing, and believing with me today. And I'll see you next time.